Today with the Indie Film Online and Venus Italian International Film Festival. We have special guest Luca Cutini, and his film is Refugee, and it is a wonderful short, and love this movie. Ciao, Luca.
Hello,
How are you?
fine.
Okay, perfect. Where are you?
I live near Rome, far 40 kilometers far from Rome. And
Oh,
yeah, it's
I
a
have I
town
have
called
family.
Colleferro.
I have family in San Vito Romano.
Yeah, I know it. I
You
know it.
do?
It's near here, near here.
Oh, near you? Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
And in
perfect.
Zagarolo too.
Yeah, it's near
Yeah?
here. It's
Ah,
halfway from here to Rome.
maybe
Yeah,
you know my family. Who knows?
maybe can be possible. It's a
um,
pleasure to see you and meet you.
oh, it's a pleasure to see you. I absolutely love your film.
Thank you.
Your Luca Cutini, is that how you pronounce
Yes.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
And your film is Refugee.
Yes.
Refugee. Is that how
Rifugi.
you pronounce
Perfect. Rifugi.
Refugee? I love that, sometimes I have three film festivals and I've been doing this for 3 years now. And sometimes I come across a film that I'm stuck on and I love so much. And yours is absolutely one of them. I watched it over and over and over again.
I
And
am glad you like it.
oh, it's wonderful. It has everything. It has heart. It has relationship with the child and the mother and the father. And it's just the way that it was then, because my father was actually born in 1932 in Vico Equense near,
Yeah,
you know,
I
Vico.
know it, of
Okay.
course.
And that's where my father's side is. And I go there every year, and he's told me he just passed in January, but he told me so many stories about growing up at that time in the war. And I imagined that he was about that age,
Yeah, I think, yeah, it
yeah,
must have been 10 or
around,
something
yes.
like that.
Yeah. And I saw my father there, hiding out. And I mean, they weren't, I don't think they were in the midst of it, because they had a cantina, and they
Yeah.
used to feed,
Mhm.
they fed the soldiers.
Oh,
Yeah. So they were safe because
yeah, they were
they gave
safe
them,
and they were not in cities like the places that were bombed.
no.
So,
No, but he told me stories that he used to go to the beach and collect all the parts of planes and things that were
oh,
bombed down from the air. But what was your inspiration to do this film?
well, I live in this town called Colleferro.
Mhm.
It's 40 kilometers far from Rome. And there are these shelters, the shelters where the tunnels, this network of tunnels where we filmed the short movie, they exist, and that place is the place where actually people during the 43 44 in that year hid themselves from the bombings. So that place is actually the place where people hid and to protect from the bombings. So the inspiration is from, well, is a long time story, because in 2016 I worked as first AD for a web spot for promoting this place, because it's a very important historical place. And we were filming because a man found a little toy car there made of iron, and probably that toy car belonged to a boy that lived there during 43 44, because during the bombings, the whole city, to protect themselves from the bombing, all the people moved down in the underground. In these, there were tunnels that were digged during nine the 30s during the 30s.
30s.
Okay, and they were okay
Quarries?
quarries, because in this town was born in around 1935. Okay, and they used the tuff that took from the underground and built those houses. So those quarries remained until they were used for by the people to protect from the bombings. So we shot this, we filmed this web spot,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing this toy, this car, I was thinking about a story about this child that lived in this
Oh,
place.
wow.
Okay,
We're inspired by seeing this little toy,
yeah,
and
uh,
then everything just came out from there.
yeah. Then
Wow.
I filmed the short movie about 3 years later.
Mm.
So the idea remained there in my mind, and actually the short movie is for the academy. Is it was for the diploma. So I was thinking about the idea for the short movie, and I remembered about this idea I had 3 years earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
I decided to write it down with two of my family for
An
an
academy.
academy, a cinema academy, yeah, in
Oh,
Rome,
cinema academy.
yeah.
Okay. Ah.
And I had colleagues of the academy, in the class of screenplay, and so we decided to write down this story. They came here, and we went around the shelters, this network of tunnels that are all under the city, under the town. And so we wrote this down in about 2 3 months, and then everything took shape because we took a lot of things from the reality. So we interviewed people that actually lived those moments. There's a man here that's now about 95, and I've got an 4 hours interview with him,
Wow.
and he told me everything he remembered, an excellent memory, so he could remember anything. And we took lots of things for reproducing the reality, so the clothes,
The clothes.
how
Perfect.
um, how the places were made. So they moved all the city in the underground. So they built all the public place, like there was a church, there was an hospital, all down, and people lived in this
How many
little.
people? How many people
I
would be there?
I think 1 2 thousand people, because they're very big. They're very big. Maybe if you come to Italy, you can come here and
I
visit,
have to see this.
because
I have to.
inspiration actually was not just one inspiration. It was a lot of things that came from one part on another part, and everything became this story.
But
So
how did
yeah.
they how long a period were they there?
Pardon?
How long were they there in
Uh,
the
I think almost 1 year. Yeah, because the bombings were more and more frequent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they happen more and more often. So people decided, since in the first period of that year, people moved down just when the bombings happened.
And
Okay.
what did they do for food?
Yeah, that was a great problem because
Yeah.
they had to search for it, but it was very difficult. They had to go for kilometers and searching for I don't know, potatoes, things that
So they went
came.
out. Some went out to
Yeah, someone.
they
Yeah, the
camped
fact
and went out to
of
get food.
yeah, the story we told in the short movie is based on facts that really happened. People that went outside risking their lives for finding food and things for living. Because down in the underground there was nothing, of course.
But they saved
Uh,
their lives, so you have to
yeah,
do what you can
yeah,
to.
of course. Then we built a story with all the things that are necessary for a narration, cinematography narration. But all the things we told are based on reality, things that actually happened, and was a story that needed to be told.
And I absolutely agree. I agree. Are you gonna make a feature from it, or you're gonna?
It would be very very cool.
I think that it would be good to write the feature, and
Yeah,
then you have the short already. So then maybe write a feature, or maybe it could be even a series, because these
maybe.
people are there for a year. There's a lot that you
Yeah,
could.
there's a lot to
There's
write.
a lot. So maybe a series.
It
Um,
could be an idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I'm not sure, but something that's, like you said, hasn't been told, and I think it
No,
needs to be.
not in that way. Not
No,
in that
no,
way.
I don't think many people realize what the Italians went through. You know, it
Yeah.
was vicious. My father, that's the reason that he left, because he had a hard life growing up,
Hmm.
and he came here as soon as he was of age, I think 16, 17. And
Hmm.
because he lived through all that, not as bad, but working really hard, and he had a hard life. And
Yeah, it would be interesting to write something about that place and people who lived there. But I think,
life is beautiful. There was
uh-huh,
that, and look how that
yeah,
people love that.
of
So
course.
that was very, very famous. Have won many, many awards, and your film had a little bit of that feel about it,
Yes, of course.
with the
Yes.
mother and the child relationship, and I think that, who
Yeah,
knows.
trying to survive and to build a better place, even though you're living a tough situation through
Yeah.
the tunnels.
Mm.
You can see all the doors placed in like one door and then another door, and actually people took the doors from their houses and took them down for building like boxes where people slept on the ground. But since you couldn't sleep like there, they built like boxes where they put the straw on the ground and all these doors that divided the tunnels. So everyone could have a little place that was like home.
Hmm. Wow. Wow.
Little, very little, and very dark, but for feeling that, for feeling on our skins that situation, we went there so many times for living that feeling. Okay, so we stayed there days, all day long. Who I wrote the story with, and even with the guys from the crew, the director of photography,
Yeah.
and everyone, even because they had to go there for technical reasons.
Hmm.
But anyway, also because going there, you could feel what we wanted to tell,
Mm.
to make people see.
And what about little animals, and were there mice and
No, nothing.
no, nothing,
Just
nothing.
just some insect like flies that stayed where the light bulbs were
Hmm.
because they were warmer,
Yes.
and so all the flies went there. And
Oh,
when you scenes, you can see the flies going around.
Oh, now I have to
And
look.
we could
He wants their 15 minutes of fame to be famous.
even the flies,
Even the
even the
flies.
flies. But anyway, mice, nothing, because there's nothing down there. So no food for animals. In that aspect, we were fine. For any other reasons, no, because it was
Oh,
very cold, very humid, and it was summer when we filmed it. It was like July, and outside there were 35 degrees Celsius degrees, and inside 15.
wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
I commend you for doing that, and
yeah,
to have, to really go out of your way to really feel what they felt as much as you
yeah.
could.
That, but the most difficult part was for the outside, for the location for the outside, because that was not built as scenography. It was actually a small town that was destroyed by an earthquake in 2016. And since we were looking for a place that looked like a town that was bombed with the rubble, and I looked for something that could remind something like that, and I found that town that is in central part of Italy that was hit by an earthquake that destroyed a lot of towns. This um, it is like in the central part of Italy, in the northeast of Lazio.
I remember very well when that happened. I
Yeah.
was so nervous for my family, my friends, and the
And sadly
destruction.
was a perfect place for us, because it seems like that. Actually
Something
seems like
bad,
that.
you ended up using it for
Yeah,
something good.
for something good. Yeah.
Something good. Another part of the story that I love. Wow. Well, this is amazing. I really, really uh, appreciate you coming on, and
Again, but
slowly.
very slowly. So now I don't know. I also work on sets as second ID or
Oh,
something like that. Yeah.
good.
And
This magazine that I created for filmmakers too,
mhm,
Indie Film Online magazine for
yeah, the one on the website.
that's the one on the website for filmmakers to put anything they want in. You don't have to have won awards or anything that you want to show. You'll have something, in writing. And I want to support filmmakers not only with my festivals but after that too, to really get there. It's nice that they get awards, but they need to be heard too. So I'm
Yeah,
doing
to be
interviews, and
shown.
I mean, I'm learning so much just from listening to you and all of the interviews that I'm doing about the
That is great.
film and about the heart that went into it.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
most important
of
thing, I think.
course, that's the most important thing. And that's what I try to really see when I watch films and I judge films. I really, really want to say there was a reason to make this film. And I do believe that it's something that should be seen. And
Yeah, I totally agree.
yeah, and I
Because
would love to see it as a
technical
feature.
things are cool to be seen, but if there's no soul in the story, um, I don't know if it has the need to be told.
Right.
I,
People like, things blowing up and all that, but we don't
yeah, they are cool,
we
but
don't
if you
really
don't
need that
see,
right now because we have enough blowing up here
yeah,
in New
of
York,
course,
and and enough sorrow and enough people dying, and I don't really want to see all that. But people make wonderful movies like that too. But I like movies that have heart, feel good
yeah,
movies,
the feelings
the
you
feeling.
can
Yeah,
deal with. You see
Yeah.
yourself in the character
Yeah.
and feel the same
Yeah.
feelings.
Right. And in a lot of these films, I'm imagining my father, and he just passed. So
I'm
it's
sorry.
close to me now, and I'm looking at them a little differently. So I really, really appreciate you being here, and I hope
Thank you.
you come for the Q&A. We're doing Q&A after
Yeah. When
the
is it?
end of the blocks. When is your film, on Saturday or
I
Sunday?
think both days.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Is
guess
it
I like your
the
film.
7?
I put it in both days.
People must see it.
But well, come both days after. I'm gonna put in the website the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It'll
look
be
for it.
after the end of the blocks. When they end, then we'll do a Q&A. Then on Monday is the awards, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
worse.
do a big Zoom where anybody could come and join.
Yeah, great, great.
So I think we could get up to 300 people.
300 people?
Maybe, and there'll be little
With like
tiny little boxes all over the. It'll be
but
wonderful. But
but it would be great.
yes, it's something because my
That must be
festival.
done.
It wasn't an online festival.
No?
No, it wasn't. No, I had a festival it was the first Italian film festival in Las Vegas ever last year. It never was an
Great.
Italian film festival in Las Vegas. Mine was the first.
Do
And
you think about the cutting room? The New York one will be
that's
done
my
this
baby.
way
That's my baby
online?
because that's my very first festival that I ever had. And come there, sure. If I don't know, but I think I'm gonna push it to November just so that I
In
have a little
order
bit more time.
to make it by person.
This year for the cutting room,
Yeah.
I'm either gonna do it online in the cutting room again, if it's possible. I could always push it till later, maybe December. I don't know if I have to. Either that, or I don't know, something else I have in my mind that could be fun too. I don't want to give
Great,
it
great.
away.
Well,
But
actually, I would love to come there
to
if
New
it was
York,
possible. Of course,
oh,
it
I would love
it would be
to.
great.
I
It would
love.
be great.
You're one of my Italians. I have a bunch of filmmakers that keep making films so that they come to my festivals. They went to Vegas, they went to the cutting room, and I call them my Italians. So it's wonderful. They come from all over, and I'm very humbled that filmmakers would come so far to come to my festivals. Yeah,
I'm happy to be able to show something we care about all over the world
yes,
and finding someone that loves the way you loved it.
I
So
really,
thank you.
really loved it. I'm being completely honest. I watched it. Not twice. I watched it many times because I love period films. I love the way that you shot.
Just
Well,
black and white.
it was beautiful. But thank you so much. Um,
Thank you.
your
Thank you.
film
It
is
was a
Refugee,
real pleasure.
and I hope to have this up for you very soon. It'll be on YouTube and also on the site indiefilmonline.com. All right, and
All right.
I'll see you for the Q&As.
Yeah, of course. Of
Okay?
course.
All right.
Saturday.
Virtual
Okay. Saturday.
hug. Saturday, yeah. Saturday
Yeah.
and Sunday. All right, perfect.
And Sunday.
Okay,
Perfect.
perfect.
Have a nice day.
Right, you too. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Bye.
Bye.